Shalom everybody, it's Smooth23 back in their video. You may be wondering right now, what am I looking at? What is on the screen? Well, first of all, this is a computer. This is my computer screen right here, and this is a picture I put together, a compilation of a bunch of different pictures. This video is going to address the false claims of the Black Hebrew Israelites and other historical revisionist groups who try to claim that the kings and queens of Europe, or the nobles in Europe during the Middle Ages, were all black, and it wasn't until modern times that the albinos or the Edomites or whatever rose up and took control. So they'll point to a few. They have no real historical evidence. They don't have any records or documents or anything like that. The only thing they really have is art from the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, which show black people or people who look kind of black, and they say, this is evidence of kings and queens and all kinds of nobility being black during the Middle Ages. Well, I'm going to refute that and show that that is simply not true. You can't read this down here. I'll actually zoom in a little bit. This guy right here, you see this picture? You see how his chin is similar. Wow, must mean they're the same person. It says this, the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. This is a complete lie, okay? I don't know where they're getting this information from. They're just making it up, because this portrait is actually well known. It's not like it's anybody ever ascribed this to this guy over here, Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor. This is actually a painting called Portrait of a Moor by Jan Mostert, who is a Dutch painter. Okay, this guy was painted by a Dutch painter. He is a Moor, not. This isn't even Holy Roman Emperor clothing. So, yeah, right. This isn't Charles V. This is Charles V, and these are actual paintings. Now, as I'm going through this video, you'll understand that I'm going to say this multiple times, that these black revisionists and Hebrew Israelites will commonly just throw out all the art. They'll say, oh, this is fake, but this has to be real, which it isn't even Charles V, so it doesn't matter if it's real or not, because it's not Charles V, it's a guy from Northern Africa, okay? So they'll just dismiss paintings like this, paintings which clearly portray them as white, and just ignore all other evidences. So here's King James right here, and there's a little bit more over here, paintings of him, but this one is ridiculous, and you'll see this commonly. Basically what I looked up is like kings of Europe black or something like that on Google Images, and I just took a bunch of as many images as I can, and I put them into this into Microsoft Paint right here, so I can portray them to you in this video. And here, a lot of them came from the same website, the whatever website where it has this little description. Edith of England and Otto First. Yeah, they're definitely black because they're statues made out of bronze or whatever this is. Yeah, that definitely means they're black. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, okay? The material in which it was made, I don't know what material this was. It looks like copper or bronze or something like that. But, even the facial features it's not even the facial features of black people. They have straight hair, okay? They have straight hair. They don't have big lips or flat noses or anything else facial kind of shape of an African person. Just because the material that the statues were made out of is brown in color doesn't mean that they're black people. Okay, this one, it's an engraving, so the only colors you're going to see on this one is like beigeish white, gray, and black anyway. So it's not like you can add any color. But they'll look at this and completely ignore the fact that you can clearly see on his forehead right here whiteness. You can clearly see that there's whiteness, but oh no, this part. Yeah, that's called a shadow, you idiots. How anybody can look at this guy and say this is black is ridiculous. Now I'll show you a few other paintings of King James, which they'll just dismiss. They'll just say, oh no, these are fake. Like these three right here, or this one over here as well. Okay. He's white. He's white. He's white. And look at his hair. Look at it. Look at his hair color too, and his style of hair. And this is another one. This is the one that they actually use. This one over here. Which means if you look again, this is an engraving. It's not like they're gonna have different. It's not like they're gonna have natural colors to paint with anyway. It's not like they're gonna be able to paint it tannish or beige or whitish like the actual skin of King James. So this, again, is not black. If you compare this to this, it looks exactly the same. It's just, you know, a little bit of shadows. It's penciled in. If I drew King James on a pencil, if I tried to draw this picture with a pencil, it would come out pretty much exactly the same. Now you have Charlemagne. Now I have no idea how anybody can look at this and claim this is a black person. Okay. Oh wow, look, there's a little bit of black here. I'm pretty sure this is beard or it's shadow. But I mean, if you look at the skin color, if you look at the shape of his nose, the way that his face is formed, how can anybody say that this guy is black? Or, you know, the Hebrew Israelites would say that, oh no, the true Jews ruled Europe. Even though Yeshua rebuked the Pharisees and said that they wouldn't have power. And, you know, they don't understand the Bible when it talks about the Pharisees and the Jews losing their power and all of it being transferred over to the believers in Christ. This guy was a Roman Catholic, so he wasn't a real believer in Christ. You know, I'm pretty sure what he's I could be wrong, but it looks like a one of those Catholic cracker things, whatever they're called. Yeah, but his skin is white. Now here, this is probably the most ridiculous thing. This is, according to these guys, King George III. Well, let me give you a little history on King George III. He died in 1820. Do you want to know when the first camera was invented? 1828. This is not King George. This is some, I can't remember his name. It's like, I think it has Osborne somewhere in his name. He was a black abolitionist during the 1860s in the United States. This is not King George III. So whatever this is up here is just added in by the liars who try to claim that, oh, the white people are lying, we're true. You know, this one, it shows a black guy in it, and then it shows all these other white people, and that's supposedly, just ignore them. Look at this guy. And this one is one of the most ridiculous ones I've seen. This is, again, from the same website with the little descriptions down here. It says, King Ethelstan presenting a book to St. Cuthbert from an illustration in a gospel book presented by Ethelstan to the Saint's Shrine in Chester-le-Street. This is the earliest surviving portrait of an English king. Okay, so, is this guy black? Well, I don't know. Let's get a really, really close look. This is the king right here. You see this? Oh wow, look, his face is black. Oh, wait, what's this? What's this right here? What's that? Is that white skin? It's almost as if ancient portraits, it's almost as if portraits and pictures which are over 1,000 years old are going to get damaged. It's the same thing with this guy over here, okay? Cuthbert. Look at the top of his head. Okay, first of all, both of these guys' hairs are ginger. And then look at his head, look at this area right here. So then they look at this and say, oh, well, he's black. Bunch of ridiculous garbage. Okay. So now going back and going down. This guy, okay, Russian general Abram Petrov Ganabal. Okay, so they look at this guy and say, see, look, the Russians were black. But this guy, okay, just because this guy was a Russian general doesn't mean he was Russian. If you actually look up his history, he was adopted from Africa because the Russians had soldiers stationed in Africa by this time. This was in the late 1600s, early 1700s. This guy was born in Cameroon. He wasn't a Russian. He wasn't ethnically Russian. He was a Cameroonian, or whatever you call them. Cameroon wasn't a technical country, but the area of Cameroon was where he was adopted from, in Africa. Okay? Wasn't he, so, oh wow, you were amazing Russian nobility, or whatever. Now this, I don't understand how anybody could say that these people are black and, or African, or whatever, because they're clearly white. Maybe it's just the hair that they're looking at, which I'm pretty sure this is a wig anyway, so... Anyway, the next guy. Again, this is a coin. I don't know why I said again, but there are a few coins on here, and they use that as evidence somehow. I don't know how you can determine what race this guy is. They look at maybe his lips, they're kind of big, I guess, but, I mean, this could easily be a white person. There's no way to determine if this guy is white or black. Now this one is, again, ridiculous. This is Manuel I Komnenos, who was a Byzantine emperor, and then here he has a white wife, okay? It says this down here, his wife, Maria of Antioch. Okay, first of all, if you look at all the other Byzantine emperors, they either look a little bit like this or they're white, so, I mean, what are you going to do? Just ignore them and point to this one? Yeah, black people just ruled Europe for all this time. Okay, well, one person, first of all, is not just ruling Europe for the entire Middle Ages or anything like that. Second of all, this is what people in the Middle East look like even today. They have brownish skin. Okay, that doesn't mean he's black. Even if you go to Mexico, these people aren't black. They just have darker skin. But here's the thing. Here are his two parents. You notice anything about his two parents? Wow. Look at that white skin. This guy, guess what? It's called a tan. He spends a lot of time outside. His two parents were white. So what are you going to say? This is I've heard black revisionists say that white people is just, that the origin of white people is albinism, and that we're all just descended from albinos. Well, here's the thing. If you're going to say that this guy is black, you have to accept that this is some kind of genetic deformity, and that he was born from two white people. This one black guy was born from two white people. Okay? Next we have Leopold I, who was another Holy Roman Emperor. And once again, even though you can clearly tell by his hair, it's not like wavy or curled or kind of like how African hair is. It's straight hair. Okay, this is hair that people have in Europe. Okay, but they only look at this right here, and they claim that he's black because of that. Even though you can clearly tell by his skin, the shape of his head, his hair, and so on that he's white. Next one, again from the same website, we have Philip II of Spain. Now here are paintings of Philip of Spain. If you look at this and claim this is evidence, because again, this is just like Edith and Otto I. It's a statue, you retards. Look, the statue throughout the entire thing, the statue is the same color. Okay, the hair, the skin is the same color. So what they're looking at is either the fact that it's made out of bronze, I think, or gold. It says goldsmith. Maybe it's gold. And then probably they're looking at the hair. But here are actual portraits, paintings of him during his reign. Okay, he's white. Now here's another coin where I guess they look at these lips right here and they think that means he's black somehow. Well, you can't really tell any other features of him. It's very, it's not very detailed, so I wouldn't use that as evidence. Now here is King Ethelbert. This is from the mid 1400s, and they use this as evidence that black people were also. They say that these are changed. This isn't how it actually was, okay? Because this is from later. He's white in this picture. I mean, if this is from the mid 1400s and they were changing pictures by then why do you say that kings in the 1600s or in the 1700s were black too? Okay, if it was already changing, if the albinos or the Edomites were covering it up in the 1400s, that makes no sense. Now here's another Russian icon kind of thing. I have to move my camera to get the whole picture straight. Okay. Again, I don't understand how anybody can look at this and claim that these people are black. Look at this, it's yellowish white. It's like somebody you'd expect in Russia or the Middle East today. Or not like northern Russia, but southern Russia. Look at this. These people are not black. This is what the Samaritans look like in the Middle East today. This is what Arabs kind of look like. This is what Chechens, Caucasian people in the actual Caucasus Mountains, some Georgians, people from Turkey. This is basically their skin color, and you know, even a lot of them have like brown hair. Black people don't have brown hair. Oh wow, look at all these black saints or whatever. Ridiculous. Okay, so next we'll go over here. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. Here we have more Russian or Slavic kind of icons. Here's this the Saint Sophia Cathedral in Novgorod, Russia. It's an icon. Once again, you can see that their people are not black. They have light brown, yellowish skin like people in the Middle East. They have brown hair. This guy has gray hair, but this guy over here has brown hair. Brown, straightish hair. Here you get another yellowish brown hair brown hair guy. Okay, look at his skin. Not black. Not how a black person looks. Look at his nose. Not how a black person looks. Look at his beard and his hair. Again, not how a black person is. Same thing with this guy. Okay. Oh, well, look at this dark part up here. Yeah, well, look at right here, man. It's clearly whitish yellow. It's like how my father looks darker than this, and my father is white. Here are kind of this is some kind of saint. I think they tell you who it is. Saint Theodore, Church of Saint Theodore, Stratilit, built 361. Okay, so this is in the 1300s. Stratilitis. St. Theodore Stratilites, with scenes from his life, now in the Historical Museum of Novgorod. Okay, so once again, you have people with brownish skin, not black, but light brown, yellowish skin, small, brown hair. Okay, look at him. Look at this guy. Is this guy black? How could anybody look at this and say he's black? His skin is yellowish. Okay, now here, this is Henry VIII. This is a picture. It says Henry VIII by John Faber Sr. after Hans Holbein the Younger. Okay, now look at right here. It says Mezzotint, early 18th century. I don't know exactly if this was made in the 15th century. I don't know what that means right there. But look at this guy. Now they say, oh well, look, his face is shaded, so therefore he's black. Now here are a few other pictures from his time. Here's him as a 12-year-old guy, a 12-year-old boy. Wow, look at that. Look at how black he is. Look at all this dark brown skin. Oh, but no, it's the hair. This was also published in 1810. So this one was published. But here are some paintings. Now, right down here is from this website again. They claim that this is a fake. Okay, look. King Henry VIII, anonymous after Hans Holbein the Younger, circa 1580. Anonymous painters don't get to paint kings. Modern fake. Okay, so they claim that because the painter of this portrait is unknown and that somehow it's a fake. Once again, they don't have any proof. They just claim this. I'd like some evidence that this is true, because I don't think when it says anonymous painter, I don't think it means that like the person just came in to paint Henry VIII and nobody knew who he was, like he was just some random painter guy. It means that we don't know in modern times who painted this guy. Okay, it's unknown. It's been lost to history. But here's a portrait which does have a known painter. Okay, look, it's Henry VIII again, and it's by Hans Holbein the Younger. The guy that was mentioned in all of these. It says after Hans Holbein the Younger. He was the painter of this portrait. Okay, in the 1500s. When he was alive. Are you going to tell me that this is fake because of that? Because they just want to say, oh, everything that doesn't go with our ridiculous ideology is fake. Because they have no proof. They have no historical proof. Now that I've gone through all these supposed proofs that black people ruled Europe in the Middle Ages, let's go through some old paintings and icons and so on that depict white people ruling. Look at this. Wow. Look at all those black people that aren't there. I can't remember the names of all of these. I think this is Albert the Great. I could be wrong. These are some of the first kings of. This is Alfred, I think. I don't know. Up here it says something, but it's really hard to read. Edward, right here. You can make that out. Wow, look at his black skin. Look at all these guys. Look at them. Look at their black skin. Look at how black they are. Look at how black all of these guys are. Look at this. Okay, I'm gonna have to move the camera a little. Here's I think this is Richard III or Richard I. One of those. I could be wrong. It's one of the Richards. Okay. Look how black he is. This is all the way up until the 1400s. So all this time, this is about the 800s, and these are. And by the way, these are English. Most of these are English, but I also have some French kings down here. Okay, there's French and Holy Roman Emperors. Oh man, look at all these black people. Man, look at this. Black people must have ruled Europe. Wow. Wow. And here's some more. It actually tells you who they are. And some of them. There's a little name, like this guy, Charles. Look, man, look at how black that guy is. Okay, now I believe that's it for the for going through the white people. Now I just want to go through the Egyptian kind of thing. Here are some Egyptian paintings to prove that the people of the ancient black people, the Semitic people, were not black. Here are some Egyptian paintings, some Egyptian artwork, different reliefs. Here are examples. These people right here, okay, these guys right here, hopefully you can see where I'm drawing with the red thing. These are the Libyans. These are North Africans, Southern European kind of people. These are the black people. These are Nubians. People who live in Ethiopia. These are the Egyptians. And these are the Shemites. These are the people in Canaan. These are the Israelites and the Canaanites and so on. Here again is another one, a bigger portrait. Here are Semitic people. Look at their skin. Is that black? Compare these two kind of people. Compare this to that. This is what the Jews look like. This is what everybody in the Middle East looked like at the time. This is what the black people looked like. This is what the Europeans and the North Africans look like. And this is what the other North Africans, the Egyptians, look like. Okay? Down here are more Semitic people. Look at their skin. It's yellowish. It's yellowish. Okay, these are the Semitic people. These are the Egyptians. They're masters. You gonna tell me that these guys are black too? That the kings of Israel and the kings of Europe are black, even despite all the evidence I've shown you? Or how about this? More Egyptian proof. You have Egyptians in this picture and Semitic people, I think. Not a single black person. You see reddish skin, like light red, and then you see yellowish skin. Just like the people you see in the Middle East today, it's the same. And now here is another thing. This is also proof for the Exodus. This picture right here depicts a statue of Joseph found in Joseph's tomb in the city of Pi Ramses. Now, the city of Pi Ramses is not the actual city that the Israelites built. It's the Avaris city underneath it. And in Avaris, okay, archaeological digging have been done in the area they found a tomb without any remains in it, okay? So remember in the Bible it says that they removed Joseph's bones from the tomb. There's also a statue found with this mushroom-style Semitic haircut, and there was paint remains found on this statue. For the skin, it was yellow, okay? Yellow skin. And then there was also, you can also verify it's Joseph based on the fact that there were multiple colors, like orange, blue, yellow, and red found on this coat down here. Okay, and there's also this throw stick, which is a sign of a Semitic authority. So this is This is a statue of Joseph, and it had yellow paint and red hair. That is what the Israelites looked like. Okay, so if the Israelites were going to rule Europe, they wouldn't have even looked like this. These people are Gomerites. These people are from the lineage of Japheth. Okay? Just because they got all this power and they ruled over Europe or whatever, it doesn't necessarily make them special. You don't have to put yourself in the place of them like the Hebrew Israelites do. They try to, oh, we were actually, this king didn't exist. This portrait is a fake. Yeah, all this is a modern fake, apparently. Even though people have known about this for hundreds of years. Okay, this stuff is old. It's been carbon dated. It's been examined, handwriting, everything. It'd be impossible to fake this. People have known about this for hundreds of years. And then they look at stupid things like this abolitionist, and they fake it by saying, "Oh, King George III." Look up King George III. All of his paintings are white. There's not even any real evidence at all that he's black. No documentation, no actual portraits or anything. Then they look at penciled in kinds of things like this, or they just also flat out lie with portrait of a Moor and say, "Oh, this is supposed to be Charles V." It's ridiculous. So thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope you understand what my point was in this video here. That historical revisionists are stupid. People who try to claim that, first of all, they say that the Israelites of the past were black, which doesn't matter because it doesn't matter what your lineage is. If you read Romans chapter 11, Galatians 3, and so on, anybody who believes in Christ is grafted into Israel. And all the other unbelieving Jews. So if it doesn't matter if black people are the real Jews, they're not going to be saved anyway, because a lot of them don't believe in Christ. A lot of them are still pagans, and a lot of them are atheists or whatever. So thank you everybody for watching, and this is the end of the video. Goodbye.